So now we are going to parent the parts to the bones. So first we will parent this crosshead to this bone, and to do that we have to be in pose mode when it comes to the armature. So I select this armature, come up here, go to pose mode, and make sure that this bone is selected. But there is a problem now because we have to select the crosshead first and then the bone. But when we are in pose mode, we are not able to select anything outside the armature when we are in pose mode. So there is two ways of doing this. First I go back to object mode, then I select the crosshead, shift select the armature, come up here, go to pose mode. So now it is selected. Then I can press Ctrl P and select bone. But there is another way to doing this. If I now go back to object mode and come up here to edit, I can unlock objects modes. So if I uncheck this box, like so, and then I come over to the armature, select it, go to pose mode. So now when I'm in pose mode, I can now select an object outside the armature because this one is unlocked. Object modes are unlocked. So I select the crosshead, then shift select the bone, so it turns to cyan blue. So now when they are selected, I press Ctrl P and choose bone in this case. Then we come over here, we select this connecting rod, then shift select this bone and press Ctrl P and parent to bone. And then we go to object mode because this crank will now be parented to the master. So I select the crank, shift select the master, Ctrl P and parent to bone. That means now that if I now select the master and then rotate R and Y around the Y-axis, we see that now the parts will move. But at the same time I see that the origin of the master is here on this side where the 3D cursor is, so I will move the origin so it will be placed here inside this joint. So I do like this. When the master is selected, I go to edit mode, see now, tab, select the joint, then I press Shift S, cursor to select it so that the 3D cursor comes to or goes to the joint here. Then I press tab to go back to object mode, and here I can right click the bone and set origin to 3D cursor. So now we have the origin here. Now if I select this armature and press H, select the master and press R, rotate around the Y axis, I press Y, so now we see the parts will move. So now we can animate these parts. So I will make this timeline a little bit larger, like so, and then when I have the cursor here inside here in the scene, I press I on the keyboard. That brings up the keyframe menu, and I will add a keyframe when it comes to rotation. When I do that, we see that there is a keyframe here in the timeline now at frame 1. Then I will change here to item here in this menu, and we see also that the values for rotation has turned to yellow, and that's because there is a keyframe in the timeline. So next step is to make an animation. So I will grab this time slider, drag it to 150, drop it there, then move the cursor to the scene. Here I press R and Y to rotate it around the Y axis, and when I rotate the master, we see also that the value will change here when it comes to rotation around the Y axis. It will increase. But I will stop around here and I will click here, left click, then I will type 1890 and hit enter. So we see now that this box is orange, and that's because there is no keyframe added yet. So I move the cursor to the scene, press I on the keyboard, click here to add a keyframe, and this box turns now to yellow, and there is a keyframe inserted here at 150. That means if I now click here to move the time slider to the beginning, and then I click play, we see that these parts will now move. But it will stop here at 150, and then the time slider goes on. So we have to decrease the frames to 150. So we do that by coming here to end and click in the box and type 150. So the timeline will end here at 150. So when I click play, it will go up to 150 and then begin from the beginning, or starts from the beginning, like so. I stop it there, and then I click here to move the time slider to frame 1. So now we have made the first part, and next part is to animate these parts here on the other side. And we will continue with that in the next video, but first we will save this scene or file by pressing Ctrl S, and so we will continue in the next video.